तो बच्चों को ना अनम्यूट कर दें, वैसे तो कोई। अस्सलाम वालेकुम क्लास 10 स्टूडेंट्स। बेटे we have started okay bete we have started chapter number 1 gases exchange. Okay, I have taken your class and we have discussed about the definition of gases exchange, and we also done about the gases exchange in plants, how it is happened in the body of plants. Today we will discuss our new topic. The name of topic is that gaseous exchange in humans. Okay, so the new topic is that gases exchange in humans. This topic is going to start from page number 4. Okay, we all of know that humans also exchange gases. Okay, definitely, all humans and animals are living things. Okay, so they need to exchange gases. So what is the process? They exchange gases, okay, and they get oxygen in the body and they get rid of carbon dioxide. Okay, so in humans, okay bete, I am telling you about gases exchange. Okay, gases exchange in humans. Okay, in gases exchange in humans, the humans get oxygen inside their body and they get rid of carbon dioxide. Okay, so the higher animals exchange gases is carried out by the respiratory system. So this whole process is done by respiratory system. So we can divide the respiratory system in two parts. Okay, first is the air passageway. You can see on the screen, the first part is air passageway and the second part which are called lungs. Definitely respiratory system work with our lungs. Okay, so respiratory system can be divided into two parts. First is the air passageway, how air enter inside the body of a person, and second one is that your lungs, how they exchange gases. Okay, the air passageway. Okay, so look at here, the air passageway consists of the parts through which the outside air comes in the lungs, and after the exchange of gases it goes out. What is an air passageway? Air passageway means we will discuss about the those parts of the human body inside the body which are responsible to get air, to get oxygen inside the body and get rid of carbon dioxide from the body. Okay, so this passage consists of following parts. Okay, so the first part is called nasal cavity. You can also see in the diagram respiratory system. Okay, it is started from nasal cavity. So first we will discuss the introduction of nasal cavity. It opens to outside through the openings called the nostril. Definitely this is a nasal cavity and it is open through outside. Okay, and these parts are called nostrils. The nasal cavity is divided into two portions by a wall. Okay, inside you can see, okay, this nasal cavity is divided into two parts, two portions. Okay, and what is the function of each portion? Each portion is lined by fine hair and mucus which filter the dust particles from the air. Definitely, we all of know we get air inside our body through our nose. So first, when this nose enters into our nasal cavity through nostrils, so our nasal cavity divided into two parts, fine hairs and mucus. So their important function is that to stop the dust particles which are present in the air. Okay, so the mucus also moisten and warms the incoming air and keeps the temperature nearly equal to that of the body. And the second function of is that, what is the important function of mucus? Mucus moisten the air and warm the incoming air. Definitely in our surrounding there is a different temperature. It can be very hot, it can be very cold. Okay, but our body temperature remains equal 37 degrees centigrade. So when the air enters into our body through nostrils, you can also see the diagram. When air enters through your nostril in the nasal cavity, the mucus which are present here, first its function is that it stops the dust particle present in the air, and then it warms the air. Okay, it makes the temperature of the air according to our body temperature. Okay, so that air then enters into the next part of your respiratory system. Okay, so keep in your mind the first step of your respiratory system is a nasal cavity, and you also discuss the two functions of nasal cavity, each portion divided into two parts. Okay, first it stops the dust particle, and secondly it warms the incoming air. So you have to underline in your book. Okay, now come to the next part. Okay, the nasal cavity opens into the pharynx by means of two small openings called internal nostrils. So what is happened? Nasal cavity opens into the pharynx. Okay, we will see the diagram. Okay, you can also see this part is a nasal cavity, then it is entered into a pharynx. Okay, what is a pharynx? Pharynx is a opening. Okay, so it is a opening. You can see it is also connected with your tongue, your mouth, and it also connected with your nostril, nasal cavity. Okay, so what will be happen? These The nasal cavity opens into the pharynx by means of two small portions called internal nostrils. Okay, so you can call it internal nostrils. You can also see this part is all called internal nostrils, and these are called external nostril. Okay, so these openings are open into internal nostril. So pharynx is a muscular passage and is common to both food and air. So underline this important function of pharynx. Pharynx is a muscular passage. It consists of different muscles, okay, which can contract and relax, and it is responsible for both food and air. It extends to the opening of the esophagus and the larynx. The air goes from the pharynx into the larynx. We know that glottis is a narrow opening in the floor of pharynx which deals into larynx. You can also understand all these things with the help of diagram. You can also see, first of all, your nasal cavity, it enters into the, at the end of the nasal cavity, there are openings which are also called internal nostrils. Okay, this is called pharynx. Okay, so this pharynx also connected with epiglottis and glottis. So this pharynx is responsible both things. First of all, air will be passed through it, and secondly, the food which is taken by mouth, it is also passed through it. So after that, it will be separated. Okay, after epiglottis and glottis. Okay, so this is called trachea. Okay, the air will be goes from this side, which then it will be enters into our lungs. And the second part, this is esophagus. This is a food pipe which are lying along the trachea. Okay, so this is a point. Okay, this part is called glottis. Okay, the air will enters through this passage and enters into trachea, and the food which we chew in our mouth, okay, it will come here in pharynx, and then it will enters into esophagus. So esophagus and trachea, they both are near to each other. Okay, they are lying along with each other. Okay, so food will enters in this side. Okay, and the air will enters in this side. Okay, so when air will comes into trachea, so our trachea is divided into two parts. Right part will goes into right lung, and left part goes into left lung. And when it enters into the lung, further it is divided into small tubes which are called bronchioles. Okay, you can also see it is further divided into small tubes which are called bronchioles. Okay, and in this side you can see these things are present in both lungs. This part of the lung, at the end of bronchiole, there are air sacs are present. Okay, small air sacs are present which are called alveolar duct or alveoli. So actually gaseous exchange is happen inside the lungs in the alveoli. Okay, so this is the main part of the lungs actually where are the gases are in and out in our lungs. Okay, now we will go to next page. Okay, bete, I was discussing with you the air passageway. Okay, now we will come to the next page. This is your page number 6. Okay, you can also see the next explanation is given the larynx. What is a larynx? Larynx actually is a box. Okay, and it is made of cartilage. Cartilage means it is made by very soft bones. So it is present between pharynx and trachea. So where it is present? It is present between pharynx. Pharynx we also discussed in previous way that they are internal nostrils and trachea. It is also called a voice box. Okay, it is also called the voice box. So two pairs of fibrous bands called vocal cords are stretched across the larynx. So the vocal cords vibrate when the air passes through them. This vibration produces sound. So this paragraph is very important. How sound is produced. Okay. So what is the answer? Two pairs of fibrous bands. Okay, called vocal cords are stretched across the larynx. Okay, so what did they do? They stretch the larynx. Actually, larynx is called a voice box. So the vocal cords vibrate when the air passes through them. So this vibration produces sound. You can also see explanation in a side box. The vibrations in vocal cords and the movements of lips, cheeks, tongue and jaws produces specific sounds which results speech. Speech and ability that only humans are gifted with, and this is one of the characteristics which has put human beings superior to all. Okay, so this is very important explanation. Okay, what is the function of vocal cords? Actually, vocal cords work with the movement of your lips, your cheeks, and your tongues, and your jaws, and because of that, specific sound is produced. Okay, and this specific sound is called speech. So humans are gifted because they can talk. They can talk they can talk. So humans are superior to other living things. Okay. So this paragraph is very important. You have to underline the definition of larynx. It's a box made of cartilage. It is present between pharynx and trachea. It is also called the voice box. Okay. And this is the function of larynx. Two pairs of fibrous bands called vocal cords are stretched across the larynx. The vocal cords vibrate when the air passes through them. So this vibration produces sound. Definitely when these vocal cords are vibrate inside the uh, larynx, so because of that sound will be produced. Now come to the next part. After larynx, trachea comes. So larynx continues to the trachea, which is also called the windpipe. The other name of trachea is windpipe. It is about 12 centimeter long. Underline in your book this information. It is 12 centimeter long, which lies in front of the esophagus. Where it is lie in front of the esophagus. So there are C-shaped cartilaginous rings in the wall of trachea. The cartilage keeps the trachea from collapsing even when there is no air in it. So what is happening? The cartilage keep the trachea from collapsing. Okay, so they prevent to collapse the trachea. Okay, we discussed this thing that trachea is made by C-shaped cartilaginous rings in the walls of trachea. So the cartilage keep the trachea. So what is the function of cartilage? These soft bones help the trachea from collapsing. उसको destroy होने से, collapse होने से जो है वो prevent करते हैं. Okay. So next after trachea, on entering the chest cavity, the trachea divided into two smaller tubes called bronchi. I have told you, I saw you a diagram. When trachea is entered into the lungs, so it will be divided into two parts. Okay. So what will be happen? These two parts are called bronchi and single is bronchus. The bronchi also have cartilaginous plates in their walls. Each bronchus enters into the lung of its side and then divides the small branches. So this bronchi further divided into small tubes. Okay, further divided into many small tubes inside the lungs. So these small tubes are called bronchioles. You can also see in the next paragraph, the bronchi continue dividing in the lungs until they make several fine tubes called bronchioles. The bronchioles progressively lose the cartilage. Okay. Now we'll discuss the bronchioles. Okay, what are bronchioles? The bronchioles progressively lose the cartilages as they become narrower. Okay, they lose the cartilage as they become narrow. So the bronchioles end as fine tubules called the alveolar duct. What are they called? They are called the alveolar duct. So each alveolar duct opens into a cluster of pouches called alveoli. I have shown you in the diagram, okay, in previous page, that at the end of alveolar duct, there are air sacs are present which are called alveoli. The alveoli form the respiratory surface in human body. So each alveolus is a sac-like. Okay, you have to keep in your mind. This question can come in your exam. Define alveolus. Okay, so its answer will be here. Alveolus is a sac-like structure lined by a single layer of epithelial cells. Okay, epithelial cells are those which are glandular cells which can secrete some hormones in the body. So it is bound on the outside by a network of capillaries. By a network of capillaries. Okay, I am repeating it again. Okay, first we have discussed when trachea enters into our lungs, so it is divided into bronchi. Okay, right and left. These bronchi further divided into many small tubes. So these tubes are called bronchioles. So bronchioles lose cartilage and become narrower. Okay, so bronchioles end as a, so where the bronchioles end, from where the alveolar ducts are started. Each alveolar duct opens into a cluster of pouches called alveoli. Every alveolar duct opens into a cluster of alveolus. Okay, pouches of alveolus, which are called alveoli. Okay, and then alveoli form a respiratory surface in human body. Okay, now come to a side box. The trachea and the bronchi are also lined with ciliated and glandular cells. Keep in your mind our trachea and bronchi. They both are covered by ciliated fine hairs and glandular cells, some secretions in the blood. The glandular cells secrete mucus which moisten the air and also traps any fine particles of dust bacteria. Okay, so the function of glandular cells. What is the function of glandular cells in your trachea? Glandular cells secrete mucus. This mucus we also discussed in nostril, in which we have studied that mucus in our nose do two important functions. First, it stops the dust particle, and secondly, it warms the incoming air. Okay, so same function is happened by glandular cells in your trachea. Okay, which moisten the air. Okay, and also traps any fine particles of dust or bacteria that have escaped from the nasal cavity. कि अगर आपकी नेसल कैविटी से कोई बैक्टीरिया कोई डस्ट पार्टिकल जो है वो रह गया है जो कि आपका नहीं क्लियर हुआ तो इट विल बी क्लियर इन योर ट्रैकिया due to ciliated fine hair and glandular cells. Okay, the cilia beat with an upward motion so that the foreign particles along the mucus are sent to the oral cavity from where it may be either swallowed or coughed out. Okay, and cilia. The cilia are fine hairs when they move upward. Okay, they never move downward, they move upward. If any particle goes inside our lungs, so the cilia began to move upward and they send to the and they send that particle towards our oral cavity. From there it can be swallowed or it can be coughed out. Okay, so this box is very important. Here we have discussed about the function of trachea. The trachea and the bronchi are lined with ciliated and glandular cells. Glandular cells do two important functions. First, they moisten the air, and secondly, they moisten the air, and secondly, they traps the dust particles. And the function of cilia, their important function is that they move upwards. Okay, and they send any particle which is in your lungs towards our oral cavity. From there it either may be swallowed or may be coughed out. Okay, so this is very important. Now we will come to the next part. The pulmonary artery from the heart containing deoxygenated blood enters the lungs and branches into arterioles and then into capillaries which surrounds the alveoli. These, these then join together to form the venules which form pulmonary vein. The pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood back to the heart. The pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood back to the heart. We also discussed in class 9 the function of heart, pumping cycle of heart. We know this thing that heart work as a double pump. At the same time, our heart, the right side of our heart is getting deoxygenated blood from our body and throw into our lung. And our right side of heart getting oxygenated blood and throw it all organs inside our body through aorta. Okay, so here the pulmonary artery from the heart containing deoxygenated blood. Okay, and uh, and enters the lungs and branches into arterioles and capillaries which surround the alveoli. These then join together to form the venules which form pulmonary vein. The pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood back to the heart. The pulmonary vein carries the oxygenated blood back to the heart. So now here the first part of respiratory system is ended. I have told you in the start of the lecture that our respiratory system can be divided into two parts. First is called the air passageway and the second is called the lungs. Now we will discuss the second part of our topic, the lungs. Okay. So, what are lungs? All the alveoli on one side constitute the lung. Okay, so there is a pair of lungs in the thoracic cavity. Underline in your book, we have a pair of lungs. Okay, the chest wall is made up of 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, we have 12 pairs of ribs. So how many ribs will be in our body? There should be 24 ribs. Okay, these are 12 pairs. Sometimes these questions comes into our exams, that how many ribs a human have. Okay, the options are given 24, 34, 44, 54. So your right answer will be 24 because we have 12 pairs. 12 pairs means we have 24 ribs. And the rib muscles called intercostal muscles. Okay, and our ribs are connected to each other with muscles, and that rib muscles are called intercostal muscles. A thick muscular structure called diaphragm is present below the lungs. Okay, so diaphragm is plays a very important role inside our lungs. It is a muscular sheet which is lying under our lungs. Okay, when we taken out breathe from our body, diaphragm comes into a dome shape. Okay, when we taken in breathe inside our body, it is flattened. Okay, it is flattened. Why it is like that? More and more oxygen can come inside our body, but when we taken out carbon dioxide from our body, at that time it is split and come into a dome shape. Okay, so it is a muscular sheet which is lying under our lungs. Okay, so the left lung, now we will discuss the quality of lung. The left lung is slightly smaller and has two lobes. Okay, it is slightly smaller and has two lobes. And the right lung is bigger with three lobes. Okay, keep in your mind our right lung is bigger as compared to left lung. So there are spongy and elastic organ. Okay, so they are spongy and elastic. The lungs also have blood vessels that are the branches of the pulmonary arteries and veins. Each lung is enclosed by two membranes called the outer pleural membrane and the inner pleural membrane. This is very important short question according to board exams. How many membranes are present in the lungs? So keep in your mind each lung. Every lung is enclosed by two membranes which are called the outer pleural membrane and the inner pleural membrane. We have two membranes. The membranes enclosed a fluid which provides lubrication for the free expanding and contracting movement of the lung. So what is the function of these pleural membranes? These pleural membranes play a very important role. They contract and relax and produce lubrication in the lungs to, to reduce the friction. Okay, so because of that, lungs can freely expand and contract. Okay, so I hope you understand the lecture. Now these two parts of human respiratory system are completed. Okay, we have started. We have started respiratory system from this page. I have told you it consists of two parts, air passageway and the next part is lungs. Okay, so I hope you understand that today's lecture. Now your lecture has been ended. Beta, if you have any question, you can ask me. Yes, Javeria, do you want to ask any question, beta? Have you understand the
No,
question?
teacher. Yes.
Javeria, beta, unmute yourself and you can ask any question if you have any issue.
No, teacher.
बेटे unmute yourself, Javeria. जी बेटे, any issue in today's lecture?
No, teacher.
Bete, I can't listen to your sound. Any issue?
No, teacher.
जी बेटे, any issue? Is everything clear to
No,
you?
teacher. Yes.
Okay, bete, your lecture has been ended. Inshallah, in next lecture, we will discuss about the mechanism of breathing, which is given on page number 7. Okay. Okay, bete. Allah Hafiz.